Was the Fnaf movie 2 good? And that is the question I'll be answering today. I'm going to break down the good and the bad with the movie and whether or not it's friendly for unfamiliar moviegoers. Starting off with the good with the movie, I feel like the characters are a lot better than the first one, including them feeling a lot less robotic and more human. The movie starts off very familiar to the first one. The same kind of intro, same kind of theme song. Now in the intro as well, it showed off the yellow rabbit and the death of Charlie. It was done so well. I mean very well. I loved how well it came out. Her trying to go save the child, going in the back room, and then trying to save him and gets fucking shanked. And then falls down into the pit to where she gets lifted up by the puppet, later possessing said puppet. That goes into the puppet as well. I was worried that they wouldn't give her justice, and I'm here to tell you they did. Every scene with her just aura, straight aura farming. They did do a different take on the character with the whole possession stuff, but I think that was really the scariest part of the film. Including, they did have a lot of fan service in the movie. Maybe not as much as the first film, but they had things like Shadow Bonnie, Circus Baby, and the little Freddy. Yes, they literally did that. I'm being for real. The biggest one is during the Vanessa facing her trauma scene. She remembers her father's workshop, to where she sees Circus Baby. I mean, like, damn. I didn't think they'd go down that route, but it was very well done. I'm happy they are doing the Fun Times, and I hope it gets its own movie later on down the road, because the Fun Times, dare I say, are the coolest ones in the franchise. So I'm very happy they showed that off. There ain't that many kills in the movie, but they're pretty brutal. Like Mingle chopping down this guy into fucking pieces. I mean, you just see bodies falling from the ceiling. It's fucked. And then you see little puppet piranhas shredding up this dude. It was alright. I feel like they could have given that to one of the other toy animatronics, but you know, I digress. Then we have the McKenna Grace's character being killed by the puppet. It's done off screen, but you kind of see the aftermath, and you know, that's pretty cool. We then have the death of the science teacher, who was the biggest dick in the movie. If anyone deserved to die, it was him. We all cheered, we all gasped, we all clapped when he died. And of course we have the death of Charlie, where she gets fucking stabbed in the back, as I mentioned. In the movie, they also reveal some big named characters in the franchise, like Henry Emily and Michael Afton, and they say some dope ass lines like they do kind of in the game, and it was pretty cool. I think they could have done it a little better, but we will go into the cons of the movie later on. And they do a lot of the in-game mechanics, and I think that's fucking awesome. They kill Balloon Boy, thank God. I clapped and I cheered when I saw it happen. But they recreate the FNAF 2 scene. It was awesome. You see the withers, and that goes into another thing. The animatronics look so good. And going into some of the cameos, I thought there would be a little more. I was hoping for Markiplier in there, but he wasn't, unfortunately. But we did get another Corey one as a taxi driver. They gotta stop doing the taxi thing. I don't know. I feel like it doesn't work. If I see Springtrap in a goddamn taxi, I'm gonna lose my mind. And going to another thing is the voices for the animatronics. That's right, they talk. Toy Chica is voiced by Megan Fox, Toy Bonnie by Matt Pat, and Toy Freddy by Kellen Goff. You know, he did Funtime Freddy and Glamrock Freddy. I mentioned that because Toy Freddy sounds exactly like Glamrock Freddy, which is not a complaint. I thought it worked very well. And every time he talked, I was like, damn! And Toy Bonnie, you can't really tell he's Matt Pat. I couldn't tell. The Toy Chica, I think, was a good voice in the movie. So, you know, no complaints. I like, me like, W, love, me, love. Now, the last pro to the movie that I can think of off the top of my head is the end credits. Now, we all knew what it was going to be. Let's be honest now. Springtrap. Oh my god. And they said the thing. They said they found one. A real one. I see you. They did the glowing white eyes, just like I was hoping they would do, and it was awesome. And they also did It's Been So Long in the movie, which is fucking awesome. I love that. We love that. And they also have another end credit scene with Henry, you know, announcing that he's the business partner of William, which now we'll go into the cons of the movie. Fuck! The FNAF movies do have their fair share of problems. One of their biggest ones is just slapping things in the face and wanting you to understand. If you have no previous knowledge of these games, a lot of this wouldn't even make sense. Who is Michael Afton, or why wasn't he even mentioned in the first film? He was just thrown in the movie, and then right at the end he says, I am Michael Afton. Same thing with Henry Emily. You show him for about 20 to 30 seconds, and then only in the end credits do you reveal who he actually is. He's a massive character. At least have him somewhat involved in the second movie, considering it's about his daughter. I feel like that would have worked 1,000 times better if they used him a lot more in the film. Now, in the very end of the film, all the animatronics from the first film pull up, and they whoop the chaos of the rest of them. And that's pretty cool. It happens in the books, actually, but it's not a good payoff. In fact, it feels like what the movie was building up for were just thrown away out of nowhere. It had a good premise. You had Fast Fest. They could have gone there, all of them, and just slaughtered. And that would have been a great little ending point there. And instead, it was ended at a house, which, I don't know, it was weird. It was weird. I still liked the ending. I think it worked for what it was, but it could have been so much more. And I think the biggest issue this movie has is it does not stand on its own. The entire movie just feels like it's a setup for the third film, which I'm not against. Don't get me wrong. I'm fine with that. But it gets to a point where way too many loose ends are not tied up. And the first movie had that issue too. And they sort of tied them up in the second film, but not very neatly, and they've yet to answer a lot of questions from the very first film. And another big complaint I have is the runtime of the movie, right? And it would work well if it was very jam-packed and constantly things going on, but most of the interesting shit that goes down is towards the end when it comes to the animatronics. In fact, they're not really in the movie all that much, and they are, but there's so many of them you can't really give them the light. The one who really gets the most is the puppet and the mangle. The mangle was, dare I say, was given the most justice. I love what they did with the mangle, but the wizards were there for really just a moment. For people that do not really care for this franchise, I can see it can be pretty dull, confusing, and probably bad. A bad movie. And that's probably why the critics' scores are so low. It's lower than the first film. But when it comes to people that like the game and who already know the established story, I think you'll enjoy it. I personally really enjoy this movie. I know I've shitted on it a little bit there, but it fucking beat my expectations. I'm being so serious. Really, really good. And compared to the first one, it was great. They had more jump scares. It was a little, not scary, but a little more spookier. And I think the third film is really what they're setting up for, right? And that's fine. I think they do need to step it up a notch. They need to hit that rated R. They need that extra runtime. They need the extra time. So if we have to wait 2 to 3 years, if not longer, just to get that good and final movie out, I would be happy. I had a great time. Absolute cinema is what I have to say. And finally, thank you so much for watching.
The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night.